Hey everybody, all you humans out there. My name's Bardi Rose. I realize that I've never even mentioned my name before. And as you might have guessed, it's not my birth name. But to me, it means love story. And I like that name because that's what I want my life to be. I want it to be a love story. I want to love life. I want to love what I'm doing. I want to love those that are around me. So, in certain places, certain times when I'm not around people who expect too much from me, I'm Bardi Rose. And I've already had my last drink. We were out here last week on the lake. This is a new watercraft that my wife insisted that we buy, and I absolutely love it. So, but last week we had the grandkids and she didn't get to come, so I said, well, we'll just come back out, because she had to watch the 16-month-old on the bank. So she's actually holding the camera right now. Why don't you say hi?
Hello.
I thought with her here, it would be a good opportunity for me to maybe tell you a little bit about me. One reason it's good for my wife to be here is I don't remember a lot about the worst times. I mean, I remember there was some really bad times, but I have a feeling that she remembers way more than I do. We've been married for 21 years, and there was a lot of hell in there. I brought a daughter to the marriage, and she brought 2 kids, and they were all half grown. We all moved into my teeny little house, 1 bathroom. My daughter usually just came on the weekend. She lived with her mom. But anyways, I drank most of my life, and although I thought I drank a lot in my earlier years before I quit, I ended up drinking a whole lot. And we had some stuff going on in my family. Both of my brothers got a divorce, and that was really hard on me. I didn't have any sisters growing up, so they were the only sisters I had. So they left me too, and that was very difficult. Not that they were nice to me or anything. They were nice to me, they were nice to my kids, but I didn't care. They were my sisters. I mean, I cared, but what was I going to do? So, but anyways, along about that time, we had been married about 10 years when they got divorced, hadn't we? Or was it?
No, it was a lot earlier than that.
Okay, so 8 years, or?
Honestly, I don't remember. I think the first one was earlier than 10 years.
Okay, yeah, we'll say it was about 8 years. And I don't know. There was a lot of pressures on us with the kids growing up and acting out. They were all teenagers by that time, and thinking that they were adults. And so there was a little bit of delinquency going on in our family. They're all great now, though. They're amazing. They are moving forward in this world. It's just...
There's a tree behind you, but it's a ways.
Okay, yeah, just let me know if we don't veer from the path. Where was I?
Kids are great.
Kids are great now, but they were really tough back then.
It's because they gave us grandkids.
Yeah, they're great because they gave us grandkids. Yeah, grandkids, they make it worth it. So, for whatever reason, maybe it was just because I was addicted and I just started drinking more and more. And my life really started falling apart. I started having panic attacks at work, and I work at a family business, and I kind of like am I was a warehouse manager and a clerk and
Why are you heading in?
I'm human resources. I'm customer satisfaction. I'm everything. And go this way. Okay. So and I used to be able to multitask, and it was just amazing what I could do. But I just started drinking so heavily, and I guess I was just depleted. Nutrients just washing out of me with all the alcohol I can imagine.
Well, and your brain stops making certain chemicals because the alcohol has replaced that.
Yeah. So, I was a shell of a person, nothing but nerves, no skin between them, and no backbone either. I lost all of it. And I went from just feeling like I was orchestrating everything around me, at work especially. I spent lots of time there since it was so hard at home, and we needed the money. But I lost control of all of it. Started having panic attacks. So I got some anxiety medicine from the doctor, and I was drinking and taking anxiety medicine. And man, it went dark after that. My wife was working at the store there during that time, and there was times when I couldn't go to work that day. She'd go off to work without me. And I reached a point where I said in a video earlier that for the first time that I knew that I was going to die, because I used to think that I was going to live forever. And I mean, I knew that wasn't the case in my mind, but I just felt that way. And I just had so much energy for life and to expend on life and the things that you do, including drinking. I had so much energy for it. But I had reached a point where I knew that I wasn't going to live more than 10 more years. And it was going to be a slow, agonizing death. And I was going to lose everything that I had worked so hard for. My family, my job, my standing, whatever standing I had in the community. that I had worked so hard to gain, because in my earlier years, I was just getting thrown in jail for pot, and public intoxication, and DWIs. When I was like 19 or 20, I did that quite a few times in the space of a few years, and I was really trying to make up for all that and be a decent human being to society. And but all of that was going away, and I was going to lose it all. And my eyesight was getting worse. The panic attacks. I had some knots popping up on my finger, like a underneath the skin, growing on the bone growths, kind of like you see on a 90-year-old. Had those things popping up on me, and it was tough. It was bad. I was like Job. I was afflicted. Growths on me. So with the help of my wife, I was able to quit, and she allowed me to be who I needed to be for a few weeks until I dried out. And I had been reading some books over the years, like I'd mentioned before, Rational Recovery, and then at that time, maybe I got the easy way to quit drinking after I stopped. Anyway, so I stopped drinking, and my wife fed me supplements to help slow down the panic attacks and to get my brain chemistry back to normal. Did you want to jump in here, or am I kind of on track?
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. So I don't know, because sometimes the way I remember things and the way she does is really different. So that's the way I remember it. So it sounds like I'm doing good. And so I quit drinking, and within no time, what seemed like when I would, my vision was like tunnel vision and dark when I would look into the future, and then all of a sudden, my vision opened up and everything seemed right. It was amazing. And for the first time ever, anytime I had a hankering for that little buzz, I would immediately remember what it was like whenever I was at work, and I was scared for the evening, because I knew as soon as I took that first drink, I didn't know where it would lead to. And I would think of that fear. I would think of the times of nausea. I would think of the hangovers. That was the first time ever that I was able to remember that kind of thing. And it was easy for me. I could buy her bottle. I could go in the liquor store and buy bottles of liquor for my wife for her birthday. I could mix her drinks. I could go into a bar. And I thought I had on my mind that just a half a beer buzz would ruin my whole day. And that's the way I felt. And so I began living a sober life and doing all kinds of exciting things. Went through yoga teacher training, became a yoga teacher, and improved in fast and great ways with my human relations at work, and dealing with employees that had hard lives and had trouble, getting along, being what they needed to be, being the employee that they needed to be. have trouble with self-worth and all of that, and so I'm able to now, help people with those kind of issues. Because I understand, that people do things either because they intentionally are trying to do wrong, or they're just overconfident, or things like that, or that they just don't know any better. Because that's the world we grow up in. We all grew up in a world where we really just don't know any better. And so I started to treat people just like they just didn't know any better, and if they knew better, over time they could change little by little. Because that's what I did. Is the lighting good and everything? Can you see me?
Well, my view is I've got a glare, so I'm not sure how.
Okay. That'll be all right. So, anyways, I had no trouble not drinking. Then, I think this is where we don't know how long it was that I stayed sober. 12 years, 10. We've lived in that house how long?
8 years.
Huh?
Yeah, we've lived in the house 8 years. No, 13 years.
Yeah, 13.
13,
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
13.
So 13 years, and I believe that I was sober within a few months when we moved, and she thinks it was a year or two. But anyway, so I've been sober for over 10 years. And in my journey for an expanded consciousness and new experience, I started experimenting with marijuana again, and I would smoke a little bit every day because it helped me. While there was a price to pay, it also made it easier for me to be the nice person that I wanted to be. Made me more thoughtful when I would get angry at people after if there was something on my mind bothering me. I always seemed to come off my high horse a little bit, just a puff. So I enjoyed that. Anyways, so I guess that might have been part of why I started drinking again, because it just made me realize, it made me think, I've been quit so long, and we've all heard this story before, but I've been quit so long, and I think I could just have a drink now. So after thinking about that for about 6 months, I told my wife what I was going to do, and she got kind of a horrified look on her face. But I assured her, and I think she believed it. I told her that whatever prison I thought that I was in, by not being able to just have a drink every now and then at a social occasion or something, that prison was far more acceptable than the one that I was in the depths of addiction. And if I wasn't able to control my drinking, I told her I would go back to that prison, which really it's not a prison. Yeah, it's not a prison. Sobriety is not a prison. So, and so that's where I'm at now. I haven't drank for a few weeks, and one thing that I did not incorporate. I've talked about, not going to AA or trying or doing some of the conventional things to stay sober, like a program that everyone follows and all of that. Because I've been to a jillion meetings when I was younger, so I know as much as a person can know about it who hasn't gone in a long time. But still, there are some things from that program that you could incorporate, and one of them is to help others. to not drink. And that's one thing that I didn't do. And like I said in another video, the reason that I didn't do it is I was almost ashamed. And I almost felt like I might harm somebody, because anybody trying to quit is probably destined for AA and has tried it, and it's in the back of their mind. And if I felt that I steered them away from that, I didn't want that responsibility. So I'm scared to share. I was almost ashamed that I wasn't following the cultural norm. And so, but I've decided, to heck with all that. I'm not going to worry about that. And if there's something good that can be had, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it without shame. Something beneficial that can be done. And so, so that's what these videos are about. These videos are to set out the banner that sobriety and the path to it can be as individual as the person is. And every individual is very individual. And so, as a friend of mine says, you do you, boo. You do it your way. That doesn't mean we can't help each other. That doesn't mean that we don't have ideas that we can share. And any comments that you have, any tips, any pointers, any criticism that is constructive, man, I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it. I'm not afraid to try to think differently. I'm not afraid to alter my way of thinking. I'm just trying to live a love story. And the way I want to do that is to try to help others live a love story themselves. So, anyways, I thank you, my beautiful, wonderful wife, for all of your support that you've given me. And thank you for sharing this time with me. And thank you all for sharing this time with me. And if you are sober today, just jump up and down, climb up on the roof, shout it from the rooftops, whatever you feel like. Do whatever you want. Anything that will keep you sober and will turn you on that path. And if you haven't had your last drink, well, just keep watching, keep looking, keep reading, keep searching, because your last drink is in your future. I love you guys. Have a good one.